Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyanmanjari Vidyapit for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of social science. Students, we had started with chapter number 18 from previous few lectures. Let us take a quick recap of what we have learned in this chapter. Students, this is lecture number 9 for chapter number 18. Name of the chapter is Price Rise and Consumer Awareness, as we are already knowing that this chapter is divided into two parts. One is price rise and another is consumer awareness. This chapter has a lots of weightage in the board exam. Complete 4-mark question is asked from uh, this chapter. It's a long essay type answer, so you have to write a lot in the one question that is asked in this from this chapter. So price rise we have already completed. A lot of things we have learned in consumer awareness also. Let us take a quick recap of what we have learned in the previous lectures for consumer awareness. We learned the definition of who is a consumer, because these things are debatable in the court of law, and they are quite legal. So we should have a legal definition who a consumer is. Difference between a customer, who is a customer, and who is a consumer. For example, your father has paid for something, then he is a customer. But the end user, that is you are using it. The father is not using it, right? So you are the consumer. So difference between a customer and a consumer. Consumer awareness and consumer protection, these are two different things, right? So what is consumer awareness? To make the consumer aware of his rights, to make the consumer more aware, so that he is not cheated, he is not exploited. And if that thing is done, then comes the next point, that is consumer protection. What is consumer awareness, that we learned. What is, in which way a consumer is exploited, that we learned. uh, Reasons for consumer exploitation, that we learned. There are a number of reasons. Yes, you should have them all by heart. Laws at national level, at international level, for the protection of the consumers, that we learned. Next we learned is the legislation, that means the laws, rules and regulations for concerning consumer rights. We have two parts in it. One is for provision, that means facilities or the provisions that are given for consumer services. Next is provision for uh, rights to the consumer. We have learned in rights, there are 6 rights that are given to the consumer. And then we learned about the duties. There are 13 duties nominated in the textbook uh, that go for the uh, consumer, because when a consumer is going into the market to buy either a product or a service, then first thing is he should be careful. There are some duties that go for himself, that unless he is not aware, unless he is not careful, then there are chances that he may be exploited. So some of the duties that the consumer himself has to carry out, so that he doesn't have to worry about uh, himself getting cheated, himself getting exploited. So we learned about the duties of the customers. Now, consumer. Now let us go ahead with the um, today's lecture. Measures for consumer protection. Now, measures, steps that are taken for the protection of the consumer. Now, a 3-tier, T-I-E-R, tier means layer, a 3-layer judicial system. That means it is legal. The first thing, judicial, means it is legal, right? So a 3-tier judicial layer is developed for consumer protection. We have learnt about this uh, in the 9th standard, when we learnt about the judiciary system. Yes, there also we had a 3-tier judiciary system. Yes, at the district level, at the state level, and at the national level. That is the apex. We formed a triangle pyramid, right? So there will be more number of district level courts, there will be lesser number of high courts, because we have 29 states, and many of these states, they have joint high court, right? For example, Chandigarh, which has a joint court of Punjab and Haryana. Same way nowadays for Andhra and Telangana, we have a joint court. All the seven sister states, they have one high court. So number of high courts will be less, and at the top, apex court, that is the Supreme Court. So the same structure is found where there is judicial system or a legal system developed for consumer product. That is called a three-tier consumer court. Three-tier consumer court. So as same as the judicial one, we also have the same thing over here. We have courts at district level. If you are not satisfied by that, then you can go one step higher, that is at state level. And then if you are not satisfied over there also, you are not satisfied with the judgment, that is, then you can always approach to the Supreme Court. Not Supreme Court, but the highest tier in the judicial system for consumer protection. So now let us learn about that. Government of India has set up, please underline this also, Central Consumer Protection Council. Yes, CCPC, right? You can write short form. It is easier to remember in this way. Yes, CCPC, that is Central Consumer Protection Council. Or say, this is yet another name. This one is used officially, NCC. Yes, that is National Consumer Commission. Now, that commission is set up under which act? That we have already learned, National Consumer Protection Act 1986. This one we have already learned. Under this act, under the provision of this act, National Consumer Commission has been established. Another name for National Commission is Central Consumer Protection Council. So, in the very first point, there are a few things to remember. Next, we will learn about the three different tiers that are in the legal system or judicial system. As per this council or commission, a three-tier judicial mechanism has been set up for solving consumer complaints. Consumer complaints come from all over the country. Now, whole of the country is divided into state. Each state is divided into districts. So that is the basic level, right? So the three tiers are, first one comes at district level. The name of it is District Consumer Forum. Forum is a platform. Forum is a platform where people get together, debate, discuss, and come to a solution, right? So forum is usually there. And District Consumer Forum at district level. Next level is State Commission at state level, and at the center, that means for whole of the country, one apex consumer protection national commission at national level. So these are divided into the three tier legal or the judicial mechanism that is provided for the protection of the consumer is District Consumer Forum, State Commission, and National Commission. Now we'll learn about these three one by one. The commission has framed several laws. Now, if a commission is there, it has to look after the protection of the consumer. It has to see that the consumer's rights are not violated and the consumer is not cheated, exploited. Then there should be several laws under which the defaulters can be punished. So the commission has framed several laws, certain norms, conditions. Norms means condition, and what action can be taken, and actions which these consumer forums may take care of, right? Now, first one we come to is district forum. We will be discussing the main points, right? All the points are given in detail in the material, so we'll be discussing the main points. Every state needs to establish one district forum at district level, or say court at every district, each and every district. Now, state is divided into district, so each and every district, it is the responsibility of the state government to see that with the help of state commission, one district forum is established at each and every district headquarters. So these courts take care of complaints of consumers and help them in obtaining compensation. That means whatever loss that has occurred to them against loss that they have suffered. Main, India has approximately 571 district forums. Please remember this number. Yes, we have 29 states. Yes, and these states are divided into district. The total number of districts we have may vary, but according to the book, we have a total of 571 districts district forums established working and carrying out the work of um, consumer protection all over the country. So 571 district consumer forum. Now what happens, which type of, now here it is depending upon the amount that is at question. Suppose I have bought a refrigerator, right? That amount can vary from 20,000 to 30,000 or 40,000 depending upon the type of refrigerator I have bought. But suppose a hotel has bought 30 or 40 or 50 refrigerators together, then the amount is quite big. So it depends, whole of the thing is dependent upon getting justice, right? So a slab for money is fixed. डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर में यहाँ तक का मनी का डिस्प्यूट है तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर्स में होगा, इससे ऊपर है तो then it will go to the state level, and above that it will go to the national forum, right? So that way a consumer or a petitioner, consumer in a petition, petitioner who has given a petition in the court, yes, application, or he has appealed in the court, that is consumer himself, or you can call him petitioner if he has applied in the court. Now can file a compensation up to 20 lakh only. District headquarter has limitation up to 20 lakh only. That means below 20 lakh cases can be handled by the district forum, right? In these courts, after paying the court fee, a nominal court fee is there, you have to pay those court fees. If the petitioner is not satisfied, now the case is run in the district forum, and the judge comes to a conclusion and then he gives his judgment, right? So if you are not satisfied by the judgment, you have full liberty to go to one step higher, that is state level, right? Is not satisfied with the decision of the district forum, he may file a complaint with the, but that has some rules and regulations. What is that? Within 30 days. Within the next 30 days of the judgment, he should approach the state level before taking the case to the state level. And there are some fees. The petitioner will have to pay either 50% amount of the compensation claims of rupees 25,000 or whichever is less. When he goes to the state level, right? Because expenses occur in this. So whatever amount he is claiming for, uska 50%, but it should not be more than 25,000, right? It is 25,000 or it can be less than, if the amount is less then it's okay, but it should not go above, that 50% should not go above 25,000. Now we come to state commission. Now you are not satisfied with the district forum, then you go to the state forum, right? Or if the amount of compensation asked or the case जो चल रहा है वो 20 लाख से ऊपर है, then directly it will go to the state level. In India, there are approximately 35 state commissions working for consumer. Now we have only 29. Then how come 35? Yes, though 6 आपका union territories है, right? So they are included in this. So we have approximately 35 state commissions. Please remember this. A consumer, that is petitioner, can file compensation from 20 lakh to 1 crore. Now if it is below 20 lakh, he has to approach district court only. He cannot directly go to the state level, right? He can go to the state level if he is not satisfied with the judgment. If his amount is less than 20 lakh or up till 20 lakh and he is not satisfied, then he can go to the state level. But if the money dispute is more than 20 lakh but less than 1 crore or 1 crore exactly, then he can directly go to the state level. He doesn't have to go to the district. These are the slabs set for going to for compensation or going for filing the case. So if the amount is between 20 lakh to 1 crore, he can directly file a petition in the state forum. Here also, if you are not satisfied, of course your amount is more than 20 lakh, then you automatically go to the state level, right? Then the case is run, you get a judgment. You are not satisfied by the judgment, you have full liberty to go to the next level, that is at the central level, right? So if the petitioner is not satisfied with the decision of the district forum, he may file a complaint with the state commission within, again, अगर आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट से स्टेट में गए हो तो अगेन विद इन द नेक्स्ट 30 days you have to file a complaint over there. Otherwise it will be accepted that you have accepted the judgment and you do not have any problem with the judgment. If you have, you have to notify the district forum that you want to go over there, pay the required fee and go over there. However, before taking the case to the state level, the petitioner will have to pay either 50% amount of the compensation. Now here the money will increase. If you are going over there, then you will have to pay 35,000, right? Or whichever is less. Either the amount should not exceed 35,000. Now national level commission. Yes. Now district level up to 20 lakh. State level 20 lakh to 1 crore. That means above 1 crore dispute will directly go to the national level. At the name, as the name suggests, there is only one national commission. There is nothing above it, right? So only one national commission is there. So its headquarters is in New Delhi. It is the apex court that we learned already. We have discussed, right? Apex means at the top. At the top is the national commission. India, one country, it will have only one apex court for consumer protection. A consumer or petitioner can compensation above 1 crore. If you have any doubt, if you have any complaint that is exceeding 1 crore rupee, you directly approach the National Commission after paying the court fee. This commission consists of a bench of 5 members. 5 members will be looking into your case and they will decide upon the judgment. They will look into your case, talk to both the sides. There will be debates between the lawyers, and the 5-member seat will be deciding upon the judgment. Now, state commission, national commission should give the decision as early as possible or within 90 days of filing the case. Yes, here we have a limitation. In usual judicial system, the case keeps on going on for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, we don't know how much, right? But here, because it's about money, and value of the money will keep on changing on a day-to-day basis, right? So what happens is, as early as possible, the case should be dispensed with. So at state level or at national level, as soon as the case comes, from that day onwards, within 90 days, the case should be solved. If the petitioner is not satisfied with the decision of the National Commission, now National Commission ने भी decision दे दिया, the consumer is not satisfied by that also. Judiciary system में क्या होता है? Apex court, that is Supreme Court, whatever decision it takes, the government also has to obey it, the states also has to obey it, individual or group of company, whosoever the party is, they have to accept the decision of the Supreme Court, क्योंकि उसके ऊपर कुछ है ही नहीं. But here, district level, state level, national commission, right? So उसके ऊपर कहाँ जा सकते हैं? If you are not satisfied by the national commission, he may file a case in the Supreme Court. We still have a proper judiciary system. Yes, so if you are not satisfied with the National Commission's judgment, you have full liberty to go to the Supreme Court. Yes, that also within next 30 days. But before appealing, compulsory to pay 50% of whatever the case is, or rupees 50,000, right? So here we see again a rise in the money that you have to deposit over there, yes, for fighting your case. Let us go ahead, right? At district level, the money was less. As you go to the state level, that increased from 25,000 to 35,000. Now it comes from 35,000 to 50,000. If a person does not respect the orders given by any of these 3 courts, the court can either punish him or penalize him, or both. Now, whether it is the district forum, whether it is the state commission or the national commission. Yes, I am the consumer and I have filed a case against some company XYZ. Yes, I won the case. And the whichever district level, state level or national commission, it has given a judgment against my opponent, that is the other party, that you have to pay this individual this much money. Now that party does not obey the orders given by the court. Then just what happens in a judicial system, if you disobey the orders of the court, you can be punished, sent to jail, and you have to pay some fine also, or both. It is important to note that people living below poverty line, very very important point. Now those people who have money, they are going to pay, because you have to pay some court fees, lawyer ka fees bhi dena padega, right? So all that is included in it, right? But what about poor people? What about senior citizen, people who do not have money to fight the case? And that is what happens in most of the cases in India, that people do not go to the court because they worry about the expenses occurred in the court. So क्योंकि यहाँ पे होता क्या है कि 30-40 रुपए की आइटम है, उसके लिए भी कोर्ट केस होता है. द बैंक हैज unnecessary charged me 245 rupees. Many times I approached the bank, but the bank has not given me proper reason why 245 rupees has been charged from me. So I take the court case to the court, right? Matter कितना है 245 rupees का ही है. Yes, expense kitna hoga? Every time the court calls, I have to go there. I have to keep a lawyer also, and the court case keeps on going on. Yes, so that much time I have to spend, that much energy I have to spend. I will have mental and physical harassment, right? Plus on top of that I have to pay the lawyer also. So all these things happen. So poor people avoid going to the court. So to invite or to allow the poor people's participation in consumer protection, this point is very important. It is important to know that first, people below living poverty line, that means people falling in the category of BPL or senior citizen or handicapped people also, are exempted from paying fee under certain conditions. Under certain conditions, they are not supposed to pay any fees. They are also provided free service under district free legal service. Yes, if they are not in a position or they cannot afford a lawyer, then the lawyer will be provided by the government at district level, state level, wherever they go, right? Because lawyer has to, who is going, I don't know the legal language, I do not know how to fight a case. That is done by the lawyer. He has a degree in it, he has experience, he will fighting the case in the court, right? So I have to hire the services of a lawyer. Now who is going to do that for the poor person? He doesn't have money to afford it, right? So the state provides that. First thing is, he doesn't have to pay any fees. Second thing is, if we cannot afford a lawyer, then the lawyer also will be provided by the comes under district free legal service, right? Or guidance of legal and advice, and advocate also is provided by the advocate, means the lawyer. Now consumer society or consumer protection council. Under the consumer protection council, the government has established protection councils or consumer societies at central, state, district, and now even taluka also. Yes, so that more and more people become aware, more and more people approach the courts or the councils, and they come to seek guidance about the exploitation, so that the government can have more transparency, it can have more rules and regulations, because new cases keep on coming up and the government comes to know this is how the consumer or the citizen of the country is exploited. So the purpose is spreading consumer awareness. The only purpose of these councils is to spread consumer awareness. The consumer societies or councils, they have to be non-political. वहाँ कोई politics नहीं है, because it's on a no profit, no loss basis, right? And these societies are not to be taken as a leverage to get political advantage, right? So it should be non-political, it should be non-commercial. That means पैसा कमाने का ये society जरिया नहीं होना चाहिए. It should not be the purpose for earning money. Voluntary organization, it should be coming up on its own for the betterment of the people, by involving consumers as members. The consumers themselves, they become member of the commission. The main object of this consumer protection or the consumer society is to bring, first one is to bring awareness about consumer rights. Second, encourage them to help government to frame policies. As I told you, lots and lots of cases are coming up, new cases are coming up, how consumers are exploited. So in this way, the government learns from the consumer themselves, so they can frame better laws, better rules, better regulations for the protection of the people from time to time. Now, what is the function of these societies? The very first function is council continuously reviews provision of consumer rights and acts. It keeps on, because rights are there. What things can be included in this right? Right? So those things keep on changing from time to time as science and technology advances, as ways and means methods of payment, they keep on changing. Yes, new products come to the market. So in this way, it continuously keeps on working so that provisions and the consumers of rights and acts can be maintained. Next, it also gives suggestion to the government regarding need to change legislative provisions. These societies are responsible to approach the government and tell them, you need to change certain rules and regulation, or you need to add this and modify them. The societies also provide consumer education by conducting, as an additional advantage, it helps in consumer awareness by propagating the ideas of consumer awareness. These programs guide the consumers on lots of subjects, like they educate the ignorant or illiterate consumers about rights of the consumers, their duties, exploitation in different ways, how people cheat you. So they become aware and they are not cheated, and how to be saved from exploitation. These societies or organization now, uh, time to time, they take out newspapers, periodicals, magazines, and spread it and distribute it in the public, so that by reading it also people can become aware. Yes, publish monthly, that is one magazine per month. Bi-monthly, that means per 2 months there will be one. Fortnightly will be 15 days. Magazines or periodicals, like, very important, which are the newspapers, magazines that are taken out by this societies, consumer societies, for the welfare of the consumers. The first one is Grahak Suraksha. Next magazine is Inside. Another magazine is the Consumer, Grahak Munch platform, etc., and try to bring awareness by they include lots of writing material in this, reading material in this, and articles, etc., some different cases, etc., so that the awareness can be spread in the consumers. Now, this consumer societies, they also help in solving the complaints of the consumers. Next, we come to one of the most important part in consumer awareness, that is, these are the most prominent ways in which a consumer is exploited, cheated. System certifying weights, measures, and purity of goods. Yes, if this is done by the government, then the consumer becomes relaxed that after every interval, there is some way to certify the measuring tools or weighing tools, scales, etc. Something is there which certifies that this thing is pure, this product is good, it has been certified, or it is made under the norms and conditions laid down by the government, and it is of good quality. So how can the consumer come to know that this is a good quality product? So, system carrying weights and measures and purity of goods. Government has set up many legal institutions to see that the health and safety of the consumer's lives is not compromised through the goods and services that are uh, bought by them and they are used by them. So, government has set up institutions. These institutions will be working under the guidance of the government. They will be having their norms, conditions in which they either give a certificate or they see that the goods and services used by the consumers, they are of good quality and they are not harmful either physically, mentally, in whichever way. And it looks after the health and safety and security of the consumers. The main task of this institution, that is the main aim, is to check two, three things are there. First is to check the quality of the product, to check the quantity and purity of the goods and certify them. They are supposed to check these three things. First thing is the quality, next thing is the quantity, yes, wherever quantity is there, right, and to check the purity of the goods and to certify them. So these are the four things done by the institutions. Now let us learn it one by one. First one is ISI or BIS. Now what is the full form of ISI? That you should remember: Indian Standards Institute. Yes, standard comes with an S. Indian Standards. Yes, that a standard is decided. Okay, a standard is decided. What do we understand by standard, right? For example, this is a building. Yes, you also live in a house. When we are constructing any building, then we use steel rods. Yes, you must have seen rods of quite a big length lying on the roads. They'll be cutting those rods and they'll be tying it together, and this is how they make the pillars on which whole of the structure is standing. Then they make the uh, ceiling, right? Stories they make, one first ground story, then first floor, second floor. Yes, they build slabs in between them. Yes, so pillars, beams, the ceiling that is made, everywhere they use that iron rod. Yes, and then with the help of cement and mixtures and all that, they give strength to the building, right? After these pillars, beams and ceilings are made, rest of the house or rest of the building is constructed, the walls are constructed, right? But first the basic structure is created with the help of these iron rods. Now just imagine if these iron rods used were of weak quality, then what will happen? If the cement used in making these pillars or beams, yes, pillars are vertical, beams are horizontal. Yes, we have in our classes, you must have seen them, right? So pillars, beams and the ceiling. What happens if the cement quality used is of very low quality? Yes, so what will happen? Within 1 or 2 years, during the rain or the bathrooms, they will start leaking and the water will start seeping into the structure and make the structure weak, because it's going to reach this iron rods. Iron rods, because they are made up of iron, they will start rusting and make the structure weak. So high probability that that is within 5 to 8 years, whole of the structure will become weak, and then you cannot live in that. Whole of the thing dependent upon that iron rod which is used and the cement which is used. So there should be a standard कि अगर आप construction में use करते हो तो iron rod में ये these are the minimum requirements of the iron rod to be of the best kind. It should be iron, should be pure, it should not have any impurities. If it has impurities, it's going to be weak, right? And steel grade कैसा होना चाहिए, cement में क्या क्या होना चाहिए, yes, which is good cement, yes. So a standard should be set by the government कि if you are talking about iron rod, this is it. Now you bring your iron rod and we will test and see, examine whether that iron rod is of good quality or not, according to the iron rod standard that we have maintained. You are manufacturing cement, bring your cement to us, we will certify them by testing it. This should be the standard of cement. If your cement meets the standard, then we certify you that you are using the best quality cement according to the standards set by the government of India. That is the meaning, right? So the government of India established ISI, that is Indian Standards Institution, in 1947 to regulate the quality of industrial products produced in India. Later on, the name got changed. In 1986, the institution was renamed as Bureau of Indian Standards, that is BIS. So, ISI and BIS are the same. Initially, the institute established was Indian Standards Institute, that is ISI. In 1986, it got renamed as BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards. Now, what is the function? The producers whose goods meet the quality of standards prescribed by the institute can put ISI or BIS mark on their product. You must have seen lots of product. For example, I have given you iron rod. Yes, you must have seen in the TV advertisement also lots of steel manufacturing companies who produce these rods. They give the advertisement that our company is ISI certified. Yes, see that ISI mark and then buy our rods. That means we have the standards of the iron rod that are certified by the government of India. Which institute? BIS, right? Putting such mark assures the consumer. Now I am not aware of all these type of things that in the iron rod that I am using for the construction of my house. Which one should I buy? So I go to the shop, and seeing that ISI mark, I am satisfied that this company's iron rod is according to the standards prescribed, and I can use it in the construction of my house. So putting this mark assures the consumer that the product he is buying is of good quality. These are the two marks we are talking about. Yes, ISI, and this is BIS, Manak, Manakha Path Pradarshakah. Yes, Bureau of Indian Standards. Manak, a standard, right? Path Pradarshak, which shows a way to others that this should be the standard. You see this mark on the product, or you see this mark on the product, you are assured that this is the best quality and you can buy it without a second thought. BIS allow. Now BIS, who can use BIS? BIS allows, these are the products that can use Bureau of Indian Standards. For example, textile products, chemicals, insecticide. You got to remember all this, right? Products of rubber, cement, electronic gadgets to use ISI. BIS is the institute. It allows ISI mark. This is the institute, and it allows this mark, right? If a consumer doubts that the BIS mark has been wrongly used by a trader, then the consumer can complain to the nearest regional office of the BIS. If you think that just in order to cheat the people, he is just printing that ISI mark. It happens many times, right? इतनी सारी आइटम पड़ी है तो मेरी आइटम भी पड़ी है, BISI मार्क लिया, ISI मार्क लगा दिया. Yes, so people are going to believe this is a good item and they will take a fake item, right? It can happen. So if any consumer is doubtful that the ISI mark used by this company is not actually given by the institution, it's a fake one, and he is doing it something illegally, then he can contact the nearest regional office of the BIS and complain over there. Now BIS mark will be found on gold and silver also. BIS mark is used even in the making of gold and silver ornaments. The mark made on the gold and silver is called gold and silver. They are precious metal, right? They are high costing, highly expensive metal. So here another, the ISI mark नहीं होगा gold और silver पे. ISI mark नहीं होगा, it will be hallmark. The name given to the mark that can be used by the goldsmiths, that this is of the Indian standards, then it will not be given ISI, it will be given another name, that is hallmark. You should see that hallmark sign over there. It is provided by the central government. BIS hallmark is a group of 5 different marks. Which are they? First one is the BIS mark, purity number. BIS mark होगा. Next is purity number. Now you just have to understand this. Yes, it will have 916 written on it. If it is 916, then it means that the ornament is made up of 22 karat gold. Gold is usually 24 karat. Yes, but if you make uh, anything out of 24 karat gold, because it's a precious metal, but it can easily change shape by pressing, right, if it is made up of solid gold. So some impurities have to be added to it so that it doesn't change its shape, right? Because we know gold ornaments, they're quite delicate, and with a little bit pressure they can change the shape. So in order to keep the shape intact, some impurities have to be added, right, so that it gets that solidity. So 916 assures you that 22 karat gold is used in this making of this ornament. An alphabet depicting the year of marking will also be have to be made on that ornament, right? This is the meaning. It will have this BIS mark. Yes, then it will have the purity number 916. If purity number has been written on it, that means this ornament is 22 karat gold. J tells you the manufacturing year. For example, alphabet J means marking on the gold was made in the year 2008. J means this, J is the alphabet used that this ornament was made in the year 2008, and the mark J represents 2008. Next, this was about ISI mark or BIS mark. Now we come to egg mark. Yes, AGMARCK. Egg mark. Similarly, agricultural products which has the standards described by the BIS. Yes, they will not be using BIS or ISI. Another type of mark is given because this is agricultural product. So forest products, for example, honeybee वगैरह है, horticulture है, animal products है, government has developed certain standards. If any such product follows the standards given by the government, then they can print that logo of egg mark on their products so that the consumer is satisfied that this standard has been maintained by the standards given by the BIS, right? This is the logo. You can see over here egg mark, in Hindi also written egg mark, Bharat Sarkar, Government of India. This is the logo that they can print on the agricultural products so that the person is satisfied that this is at par with the standards set by the government. Egg mark was implemented under Agricultural Produce Act, that is 1937. Now, ये किसके अंडर में आता है? Yes, it doesn't come under BIS, it comes under the Directorate of Marketing and Intelligence, that is DMI. It comes under the Directorate of Marketing and Intelligence, which is run under the Ministry of Agriculture, that is Government of India. This DMI is responsible for giving egg mark, not BIS, right? Grants permission to the traders to use egg mark logo, right? Please remember all this. Other marks are for fruit products. FPO is used. Mark is given to from fruits such as jam बनाते हैं, fruit juice है, squash है, fruits, vegetables that are packed in tin, right? All these can use FPO after getting proper certification from the government, right? They can use FPO. Wool mark, जो products wool में से बनती है, so wool mark logo is marked on woolen products and garments which meet the standard given by the institution. MPO is yet another type of mark that the producers make products from meat and mutton. They can, and that will be in tin pack, right? So they can use the symbol of or logo of MPO to say that we meet the standards. We have been certified and our company has been given the certification to use MPO. So these are the different logos that are used. FPO for food products, for woolen products, and MPO for meat and mutton products. HA HACCP, that is hazard analysis and critical control point. This logo is to be put on processed food. Yes, processed food. HACCP. Uh, EcoMark. EcoMark is certification mark issued by the Bureau of Intelligence. Bureau of Indian Standards, that is BIS, to these products that aim at causing least impact on the ecosystem while producing the particular product. No harm has been done to the environment. So to certify that, EcoMark is used. EcoMark is given to soap, detergent, that because it is used, and then it is, for example, soap. Yes, soap after use it's mixed with water and it's drained out in the river, etc. So even when that happens, no much harm is done to the environment. Detergent, paper, lubricating oil, packing material, color chemicals, power coating, battery cosmetics, batteries, cosmetic, it should be separate. Yes, battery alag hai, cosmetic alag hai. Yes, it's not battery cosmetic. Goods used in place of wood, leather, plastic products, etc. Everybody can use EcoMark to show that they are not harming the environment. This is for hazardous HACCP, and this is for that EcoMark. The organization set up at global level for standardizing and providing guidelines for them. This we'll be doing it in our next lecture. Thank you, students. Now, the next topic is the organizational setup at global level for standardizing products and providing guidelines. Now, why is this topic over here? This topic is when we are making products that are for local needs, then that's okay. We have our own standards. But when we are selling it out of our country, when we are exporting it, there should be an international standards. That means whichever country is producing, say, butter, cheese, a specific type of butter, specific type of cheese, if whichever country is exporting butter or cheese, it should have one standard method of preparing that butter or that type of cheese. So an international standard has been made. Now, who makes that international standard? This is where we come to the topic, that an organizational setup at international level, so that standardizing products and providing guidelines, those who are not following the guidelines, or if this country wants to export butter, then this is the standard of the butter that it should be, and this is the process involved in making that butter. So guidelines, if you are not following the guidelines, please follow the guidelines and instructions, so that when your product comes for international standardizing it, then looking at the process, looking at the finished product, and if it meets a standard, you will get an international you will get a logo which you can use. You can get a international certificate, with which same thing happens with wherever in the world you go to sell that thing, people will first look, yes, he is having that international standard, so it's quite reliable and it is good quality, and the process with which it is made, that is also quite legal and according to the norms and conditions that set up by the international standards. So this is where we come to the topic. Two organizations are working at international level for standardization of products. One is ISO and another is, I will learn about it, ISO. First is ISO, International Organization for Standardization. This is the full form. ISO is the abbreviated form. International Standardization Organization for Standardization. This is the full name of ISO, International Organization for Standardization. ISO was established in 1947 with headquarters in Switzerland, that is Geneva. Now, Geneva is the place in Switzerland which is the headquarters for ISO. Now, this is the symbol that it gives to the company, to the people who meet the international standards. The main function of ISO, this is the main function, what? To provide certification of standardization at par with international standards. If it has set an international standard, right? Now, if your company qualifies that international standards, then your company will be given ISO mark, so that you can use ISO mark in your um, with the uh, company, right, and with the products that are produced in the company, because it meets the standards set by the ISO. ISO provides several types of certification. Yes, one of them is ISO 9000 certificate, which is an environment management certificate. ISO 9000 is also given for environment management system by international organization, which is the certification of officers and institutions having high quality. Now, even lots of schools are there, lots of colleges are there which meet this ISO 9000. That means the working, everything is transparent and everything is according to the standards set by ISO, right? So whichever company is holding the ISO certification, people rely on that, because everywhere throughout the world the product can be used, or that company can be made use of, services of the company can be made use of. At India level, now if we have any product that we want to export, or we want to have ISO mark, then what is the process for that? BIS, that is Bureau of Indian Standards, that institute is responsible for taking applications from Indian companies and approaching the ISO, so that the necessary for the necessary requirement for getting the ISO certificate is made is met. At India level, BIS remains the contact with ISO and works in coordination with the Indian organization. The next organization at international level for standardization is CAC, that is Codex Alimentarius Commission. That is the full form of CAC, Codex Alimentarius Commission. Codex Alimentarius, Latin food code. Elements, right, is that is food code. Commission is an international organization for food and food products. So if any company has certificate issued by CAC, then it meets the standard international standards. Its main function is to first develop and provide international recognized food standards, certification and guidelines for international trade to organization providing food products. That means lots of food is prepared in a country to be exported, raw food or finished products, they are exported, right? They should meet the international standards set by CAC. So CAC helps companies in uh, keeping up with the international standards, whatever guidelines are required to complete the certification process and to get the logo. For example, it helps organizations producing milk, milk products, meat, fish, etc. Many of them come in lots of varieties in tin products, etc. So all these should meet the standards. FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization and World Health Organization, FAO and WHO, established CSE in 1963. Who established? That is FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization, plus with the help of World Health Organization, CSE was established in 1963 with headquarters in Rome. That is, the country is Italy. Rome is the capital of Italy. The Director General of Health Services of India works in coordination with CAC for Indian organizations seeking CAC certification. Which institute in India is responsible to help you out to get CAC authorization or CAC certification? DG, Director General, that is DG, Health Services of India. It works in coordination. So you should submit your application to DG, Health Services of India, and they will forward your certificate to CSE, and they will help you in getting the required paperwork and all the inspections, etc. to be done, and at the end of which you'll get the CSE certification. You cannot approach directly. Your government has to do it. Who can file a complaint? Again, we come back to consumer awareness. Who can file a complaint and how? Where can a person file the complaint? Complaint regarding consumer protection can be filed in any of the following persons or agencies. The consumer himself can file. Who can file? I can file myself if I am the consumer. Central government, state government, or government of union territories, they can also file the complaint. Consumer society, I can file. Even the consumer society itself, because they get lots of complaint of the similar product, of the same product, then the consumer society itself can raise a voice and file a complaint under company law or other prevailing laws. They can take the help of that. And who can file? Representatives of the consumers on behalf of several consumers in matters where all associated consumers get benefit. Yes, where suppose one product is there, and as we discussed, we have lots and lots of complaints. So anyone can become the representative, and he can represent the rest of the consumers, and he can file on behalf of that. Any member of the family, yes, your father is a customer. At the same time, he is not the consumer. You are the consumer. So any member of the family of the person who has purchased the product or service with his permission may file a complaint. Of course, you are dependent. So you can also file a complaint because your father bought that thing, product, but you are using it, or your family member who is also using it can also file a complaint. If there is a shortage of material received or service, may lodge a complaints against loss. It is the duty of the producer or trader to listen to the complaint, right? The first duty is from where you have bought it, that trader is supposed to listen to your complaints and make the adjustments at local level. I don't know why every time you have to go to the court. Now if he doesn't listen, then the next step is file a complaint. If the consumers feel that the sellers or producer are neither finding solution, yes, we have approached several times, but we did not have any solution. So then we do not have any other option other than going to the court. So complaints are not showing preparedness to find solution, consumer may file a complaint at the local district forum. Yes, of course, we have learned that below 20 lakh, then you should approach the district level. State commission on national commission as per the requirement of the case. They may complain in there are other ways to complain also, which is the supply court, office of the meteorological and consumer court. Meteorological, who deals with that certification of measurements, scales, etc. We can complain over there also. Consumer society also, they can take up the case and they will go to the court, and the collectorate office also. So lots of gates are open to you. It is not that you have to approach the district level forum only. There are lots of different gates through which, whichever is nearby to you, whichever is okay with you, you can approach. Thing is, consumer should not get exploited. He should always approach somewhere. How can a consumer file a complaint? Simply on a pen and paper, that will also do. He can draft it in a simple and clear language, either typed or handwritten. If the victim goes to the court through a lawyer, then he needs to prepare affidavit with the help of the lawyer, because you are not fighting it yourself, the lawyer is fighting the case for you. So you have to file the affidavit that this person is representing me, and on behalf of me he will be filing the case and fighting the matter. Victim should mention his name. Everything should be clear. The date of the name, address, contact number in the application, purpose, detail. That means description of the complaint. I have bought this. All the details should be there. Yes, I used it for 4 months and then this problem happened, and this is the date I approached the dealer. Again, I approached. This is the email I sent him. So you should have all the proof with you. Copy of supportive evidence. That means मैंने ये लेटर लिखा या इस डेट को मेल किया, तो मेल की copy. And always remember never to submit your original bill. You should always submit a photocopy of that, or a Xerox. Related to accusation may be attached. Victim should never attach original documents. You can show the original documents to the judge, but you are not supposed to submit it. He should produce them in person only. Whenever you go in person, just show it. Yes, this is the Xerox, this is the original, right? So that the case can be properly dealt with. Enclosed bill received and proof of payment made. Here done it by check, then counterfoil you have, right? If you have done the bank statement bhi chalega. So you have lots of ways to prove that you have paid it. If you have paid in cash, he must have given the receipt. So that is also proof. Has been made done by check at a counter, details of the check, enclosed copy of condition mentioned by the seller is what he gave you, what he did not give you. He did not sign the warranty, guarantee, right? Whatever the case is, copy of advertisement, pamphlet, prospectus, etc. Once the entire set is ready, give it as with the application. The victim can file the complaint in any consumer forum, right, submitting appropriate fee as per the amount of compensation claim, whatever you are claiming. Consumer can lodge a complaint within 2 years of the problem detected, even when the guarantee warranty out. Then also, it's the duty of the dealer, or it's the duty of the company to give you after sales service. So after any complaint has been detected, even 2 years later, then also video. Consumer can also call. Please remember this. To help out, Gujarat State has given a helpline toll-free number 1800-233-0222, or national level helpline is 1800-114-4 times 0. Please remember these numbers, they are quite important. For consumer related company complaint as well as special information, if you want any, you can dial these numbers and you can get help and guidelines. So with this, we complete this chapter and also today's lecture. Thank you, students.